Welcome back to another episode of Shifty's 49ers Talk. In this video, we're going to talk about the re-signing of defensive tackle Kevin Givens to a one-year, $2.1 million deal. We'll talk about the player, the contract, and what it means for the team moving forward. So let's not waste any time, guys. Let's get to it. Soon after we saw the 49ers get Javon Hargrave, they also made another move, and that was re-signing defensive tackle Kevin Givens. And I think this is a really good, smart move. I think he's a really good fit for the defense, and I think in the time that we saw him play last year, he really progressed as a player, but overall he's been a very solid rotational guy. Now, if we get a little bit of a background on Kevin Givens, he came out of Penn State back in 2019, undrafted free agent. He's been with the 49ers the entire time he's been in the league. He's only 26 years old. He's 6'1", 285, so a little bit, you could argue a little bit on the smaller side for a defensive tackle, but he's definitely one of those guys that we use as part of a rotation, but also a little bit more maybe on what would be passing downs. We like his ability to get after the quarterback, and I really like it too. I think he's really effective in that role, again, on a relatively limited basis. Now, if we look at his numbers from last season, he had 2 quarterback sacks, 7 tackles for loss, and 3 quarterback hits, and he appeared in 13 games. He did get, a little bit more playing time last year simply because we were missing Javon Kinlaw, we were missing Arik Armstead, we also had a number of other defensive tackles miss time. Maurice Hurst got hurt, Hassan Ridgeway got hurt, so Kevin Givens was actually a pretty big part of our defense for the majority of last year, and I think to bring him back on a very reasonable deal, that really is just good business by the San Francisco 49ers. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he was a restricted free agent, but we were able to bring him back at, what would be about the deal that I think another team would have gladly offered him. We just saw the Houston Texans sign Hassan Ridgeway. I wouldn't have been surprised if either they or the New York Jets would have been interested in a guy like Kevin Givens, but we're able to bring him back on a one-year deal. Last year, he played 353 snaps, and I think in general, he's been able to stay relatively healthy, but I think he will be a key part of the rotation in terms of the defensive tackle position. I think, of course, you're going to see Hargrave, you're going to see Armstead there. Kalia Davis, although pretty much a big unknown, I think he's definitely going to be part of the rotation, especially in run defense, and now you're going to see Kevin Givens right there as well in terms of the rotation, but more maybe trying to get after the quarterback, trying to basically penetrate the offensive line and disrupt plays. Now, when I look at this contract, $2.1 million, defensive tackle, we just spent a lot of money in Javon Hargrave, and I think this leads me to believe that Javon Kinlaw could very well be on another team starting this coming season. Now, if the 49ers were to trade Javon Kinlaw, we would actually save about $2.7 million on the cap. This signing here, it's $2 million guaranteed, so that would basically be a wash where the 49ers would come out on top of anything if you trade Javon Kinlaw, and then of course with this signing here. So I think that's a distinct possibility. Of course, I think if we want to maybe be a little bit greedy, maybe we try and see if Kinlaw, what he can do this year, but it sounds like the 49ers have realized, look, Kinlaw, we can't depend on him. I think it's rightfully so. You can't depend on him. He can't stay healthy. You gotta have guys who are out there. Givens has proven to stay relatively healthy. Outside of last year, Arik Armstead, predominantly a very healthy career, and Javon Hargrave too, and that's something that I think is really important, not only to the 49ers, but to any team in the NFL. But going back to Kevin Givens, I think for the money involved, for what he brings to the team, for his fit in this defense, I think it's a really solid deal. If I had to give it a grade, I'm going to go with a solid B. I think this is a really good move just to keep around talent, guys that we're familiar with and we know who fit the scheme. But overall, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments about the re-signing of Kevin Givens. Let me know if you guys think this will impact what we do with Javon Kinlaw. And of course, if you're enjoying the content, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, because we're going to be doing a whole bunch of off-season videos. And before I go, I gotta say 2 things. The butt counts, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.